I'm Ansley, and today we're going to be talking about the Disney Wish Cruise Line.
And I'm Sang, and I'm her mom, and we're going to be talking about our trip here in the last week on going on the Disney Wish, which is part of the Disney Cruise Line. It's one of the newer ships that are out, and we went with our family of 6, 2 adults and
4 kids.
4 kids, and all between the ages of
5 and 11, which is me.
So they were 5, 7, 10, and 11. And so what we're going to do is kind of talk through all the things we loved and maybe didn't love so much, and kind of talk through all the things you need to know, especially as a parent who's planning this very, very expensive trip. And let me tell you, Disney Cruise Line is not cheap. Okay, I just wanted to hop on here to kind of talk to you guys about the differences in prices between Disney Cruise Line. Again, you get free soda, whatever, but the price doesn't justify it, okay? And I paid it anyway. I know it's ridiculous, but Disney 3-night to the Bahamas is $10,900 some dollars, right? And then if you look at Royal right in the next spot, and if you double this, that would be like 8 people, but this is 4. So you can imagine a 7-night Alaska Glacier cruise, and it is $4,200. So my family actually spent around $8,000, but $8,000 for a 7-night versus a Disney like $10,900. I know we went over New Year's, but think about how expensive Disney is as compared to Royal Caribbean. But you are getting a lot in return, but is it worth it? That's a completely different video in itself, and we'll talk all about that because we have experience from the Royal Caribbean. But today we're going to talk about the Disney Wish and all the things that we experienced on our trip. And Ainsley, what would you rate it? Just really quickly so everyone can know.
7.5
out of 10. So we're going to go ahead and talk through everything that we know. So first, we're going to talk about getting to the port. And if you guys stay tuned to the very end, I'll talk about all the things you have to book in advance for the trip so that you actually have a really incredible experience on the ship. And let me just tell you that windows for some of the different events like Bippity Boppity Boutique and also Olaf's like picnic and all that, like open up about 75 days in advance of the cruise. And so these are timelines that you'll need to know, but I'll talk about that later in the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's just talk about overview of what you can experience when going on the Disney Wish and kind of show you around the ship a little bit. Alright, so let's first talk about the port. So when you get to the port, we had a rental car, a minivan, and we didn't pay anything in advance. You just literally show up during your boarding time, which you will get assigned when you check in. And basically that allows you to, let's say, I think the earliest booking time is around 11 to 11:30. I think we got 2 timelines because we had 2 different rooms. So going to the port, we didn't book anything in advance, and so we paid about $64 in order to book at the port. And it was pretty easy. When you went in, you actually stopped on the first level. And what did we do, Ainsley?
So we stopped on the first level, and the porter took our bags, and we tipped them.
Yeah, so you basically stop on the first level. There's a curb. They'll basically take you on the side and then ask you if you want to let the porter take your bags, and you say yes. And they all work off of tip. And so we tipped them for our 12 bags that we had, about $50. I know the general guidance is like $1 or $2 per bag. And so we just tipped them $50, and then we went and parked on the 3rd floor. And the 3rd floor is where there is an actual walkway. So if you didn't want to walk down or up and down a staircase, then if you parked on the 3rd floor, you would walk through the walkway, and I'll show you what that looks like, and then get to the security point where they kind of checked all the things that you had. Now, what I will say is the bags that you give to the porter, you should exclude items that you want to have quickly with you on the ship. Our rooms weren't available, and our bags weren't available until around what time, Ainsley?
Like 3 o'clock?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 o'clock. And so they normally say 2 o'clock, but all our bags weren't there. If you want to have the best time on the Aqua Mouse, I would recommend having a swimsuit on you or in the bag, as well as any like suntan lotion or anything like that, so that you can ride the Aqua Mouse without a line. So just something to be aware of. Again, if you board around 11 o'clock, chances of getting your bags are slim to none, and 2 or 3 o'clock Orlando time. And so what I would recommend is highly keeping all your valuables and your swimming gear just in case. So let's talk about security. Ainsley, what did you think about the security process after we gave the porters our bags?
It was really fast. They just took our bags, and they took our bags and they put it through this tunnel machine, and then we just got our stuff, and then But we obviously had to take out all of our devices and stuff out and put them in those trays.
Yeah, I had a lot of devices because I'm recording for you guys, so I had to take all that out. But it was really, really painless. It's a little bit less painless than going through airport security, I'll tell you that much. The other thing I would recommend is during boarding embarkation day, you wear some cute clothes because they take a picture of you right before you board the ship. So if your husband likes to wear, I don't know, really short shorts like my husband does, then you might want to tell him to change on that first day so that you can have a really good, solid photo right before the cruise ship. And so when you get to the line where you're boarding the ship on that gateway, they will announce your name.
Nickerson, please welcome aboard the Nickerson family.
But then, once you get on, it's a beautiful ship. Izzy, what was the first thing you saw when you went on the ship?
So like the big star, like the chandelier at the top that like is supposed to glow at like midnight or something. And then I saw the big old statue of Cinderella right by the stairs. There was mice underneath her dress, and there was also a cat.
And there was a cat. And so then they also give all the kids wishing wands, and it says wish on it, which is really, really cute. I know that chandelier at midnight will change, or I think we'll do a little bit earlier too for some of the younger kids. We never actually waited for that. We saw a lot of videos on YouTube that kind of shared that, but that wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to wait around for because there's so much to do because we only had 3 nights and I think 4 days on the ship, if I'm not mistaken, but it seemed like a really, really short trip. What I want to preface this whole video on is that we had taken a trip, our first cruise on the Disney Dream. It was actually our first cruise ever as a family and ever for me and my husband, and we just had an amazing time, and that's actually what got us into cruising. And so the Disney Dream, I think we paid for our family of 6 around $6,500, and then this trip was like 10 grand. But I will say that if you have kids that are under age of, I would say 7, you would absolutely love this cruise over Royal. And so I just wanted to kind of preface that and just let you guys know what the cost was so that you guys are prepared and not have sticker shock when you go see the cost of the cruise. So with that, let's go back to the cruise. So after you board the ship, after doing Aquamask, you'll want to go to the Oceaneers Club. You want to make sure that you've registered the kids beforehand for it, and then all you're doing is essentially getting their bands. They will charge you about $12.95 for each of those bands, and you can return them or keep them as souvenirs, which is what we did. But you should also check out the washing machines for your hands because it's really cool.
Yeah.
Especially as an adult, I thought it was awesome. I felt really clean after using one of those. But you'll get to be able to see like the entire room, and they have open houses every so often, especially during Castaway Cay Day. Is it Castaway Cay or Castaway Cay? I can't remember. Coco Cay, Castaway Cay.
Okay, so it's Coco Cay. I think it's
Anyway, it's Castaway something, Castaway Cay or Cay. And on those days, they will have an open house. Now, what did you think of Oceaneers Club?
It was really fun. It was way bigger than the Edge. We'll talk about that later. The Oceaneers Club had many different rooms, like one for like drawing and stuff, and there was another room that was based on Elsa, which was like coloring and like watching a movie at the same time. That was where Lorelai spent most of her time. And there was also this, what?
She's 5. Lorelai's 5.
Oh, yeah. And there's also this like 3-year-old station where it's basically like a playground, but it's like it's like a little jungle gym. And then
what about the Marvel room?
The Marvel room was super cool. There was actually 2 Marvel rooms. One was like coloring and looking at like some of the things that they have in Marvel. And another one was like a game system where you like have to design your own suit, and then you actually like play the game where you like, it's kind of like Beat Saber, if you ever played that, like you have to hit the stuff.
Yeah, so they have this amazing room. It's like all high tech, which is really, really cool. And they also had a Star Wars room, right? You didn't see that part? I'll show you guys a video of that, but it's super, super cute. Now, this, the age range around here, I think it ends around 11 years old. And then Ainsley was able to kind of go to the Edge as well. And her sister, who's 10, could sign a waiver to go to the Edge. Ainsley, what did you think about the Edge?
The Edge was super cool. I went there like a lot, and they like offer you like some soda like in the mini fridge, and you could just take some soda. They also did a little scavenger hunt, like around the ship. Like you didn't have to like stay in the room because the edge is pretty small compared to the Oceaneers Club. But when you went to the edge, you would do some scavenger hunts, which is what I did, and you had to take selfies of where you were, and you have to be creative. They also did many more things, but I was busy doing
other stuff because there's just so much that you can't do it all. And so, how old is the edge for?
11 to 14, and then if you want to go to
Vibe.
Yeah, it's like 15 to like something else, and the Hideaway is like I don't even know.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different like age groups, but our kids generally she did the edge. My 10-year-old looked at it, wasn't interested, and decided to stay in the Oceaneers Club, which is between like I think 3 to 11. So just FYI there. But you could also sign a waiver if you have a brother or a sibling or something like that that is already in the edge that could also use a friend in that room as well. They also have a nursery. The nursery is super cute. We didn't use a nursery because we don't have kids that age, but I just remember on the Disney Dream, if it's anything like the Disney Dream, like they do an amazing job there. But I will say for all of the different kids areas, I'm not sure about the nursery, but all the different kids areas, they do not feed your kids. And so unlike Royal Caribbean where they have set times, like the Royal Caribbean is really weird in that like there's certain times that they're open. Oceaneers Club is generally open all day, but you have to be responsible to make sure that you feed your kids breakfast, lunch, and dinner before they go. So just FYI. And also, what's really cool about the Oceaneers Club is that on the main level there is a slide.
Oh yeah.
Tell them about the slide.
So there's a slide bit like on the I think it's like
the third floor, level 3.
3, yeah. And then you have to like give them your wristband and something. You have to give them your wristband. And you have to let them scan it to make sure that you're like checked into Oceaneers Club, and then they'll just let you slide down the slide. Me and Aubrey, like, we didn't have to have an adult with you, but for like Connor and Lorelai, they had to have their parent with you.
Yeah, so you check them in at the very top of the slide, and then that's it. The first time I was kind of in shock because I didn't realize I wouldn't see the kids after they went down the slide. So just FYI, if the kids go down the slide, that's you checking them in, and they'll wash their hands and do all that stuff. Okay, let's talk about shows on the Disney Wish. What did you think of The Little Mermaid?
It was really fun, and instead of like the little fish, they used like puppets, and like someone was dressed up as the fish, but like the puppet actually looked like the fish, and like the middle, like some bubbles come down, and it's really cool. And they use projectors to make like all the room look like you're like under the sea, and I think it's pretty much like the Little Mermaid cartoon.
Yeah, so if you want your kids to touch the bubbles, make sure they're like in the middle area and not underneath the balcony section. So just FYI on that. And the music was incredible. Like the singers were absolutely amazing. The performers were amazing as well. Let's talk about movies that we could see. So at this moment, it is January 2023, and Avatar just came out. And the second Avatar just came out, and we got to see it on the ship, except the fact that
I fell asleep 20 minutes into the movie. And I'm like the one that like really wanted to see the movie. And I'm the one that fell asleep. But it's okay.
Alright, so we only saw about an hour of the movie until we decided to take them to bed. I could have let them sleep through the movie, but I decided against it from my own better judgment. So if you want to watch movies that just came out, the Disney Wish will show any Disney movie that generally is new to the theaters, and you'll be able to watch it even though it's not released yet to the general public. So that's pretty cool. Let's talk about the food. There are, I would say, 3 different areas, maybe 4. There's a lot of areas that you can get food from. So I'll talk about the free ones and the not free ones. So there's like 2 restaurants that are fancy restaurants that you can pay for. We didn't pay for any of that. The last time my husband and I did that on the Disney Dream was Palo, and we felt like we were too catered to. We're not that bougie, so it felt like a lot to us, so we did not do that. But then there's also other ones where it's free. So the first one is obviously like the dining areas. So there are 3 types of dining areas. This fancy one is called like 1923 or something like that.
Like Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, it's a really fancy one. It's like Roy and Walt's like dining experience. The kids didn't like it so much. The food was the best there. Then you had Marvel, which was an awesome like show. Ainsley, tell them about the show.
It was super funny.
What was it? The theme about?
Ant-Man and other girl that I
Yeah.
don't know.
Ant-Man, and so the the characters actually come out at the very end, which is really, really cute, and there's this little machine. It didn't do anything, but it was a really fun show. And then the most interactive show I thought was Arendelle, right?
Oh yeah.
So what was your favorite part about Arendelle?
They let you sing, and and then in the end they like take your kids and you walk around the whole like square of the thing, and the guy that like what is this guy called with the hat?
I don't know.
He was walking super funny. He was like standing up and his knees were bent and he was like tiptoeing like this.
Oh, woohoo!
Woo!
That guy. I don't know his name. I don't know the character's name, but my little daughter absolutely loves Frozen, and so we had a blast there. I will say that like we did also do a paid version of the Olaf picnic, and that was super fun. She didn't get to do it because you have to sign up like super in advance, and there was only 2 spots, so for myself and my daughter. And let's just say that she had so much fun. She got to take pictures with Olaf, Anna, Kristoff, Elsa, and got food. They brought out presents, but it was super expensive. It was like $250 per kid and then $69 for the adult. So super expensive, but she got all the things any little kid would want. She got what's that guitar called?
Ukulele.
Yeah, she got a ukulele. She also got like a ton of dessert. Like your kid will be in a sweet tooth coma. Like they.
Like, when I went there were pinwheels.
Oh, there were pinwheel food. Yeah, so she decided that she didn't have her key card, so she kind of crashed the party to get the key card. And so she was like looking at all this. What'd you think, Ansley?
It was awesome.
It was super cute. I would recommend doing that, especially if you have kids that are like 7 and under. They all come to your table. You take pictures. The photographer was kind of terrible. Like I didn't realize that you would get this, but we got this leather like booklet that would be sent to our room like at the end of the trip, and the white balance on the picture was terrible. Like I should show you guys this picture, but I won't. But it's like super red. Like I don't know. But that was supposed to be our souvenir, and hopefully I can color correct it and maybe like change out the photo. But the white balance on that photo was completely off. So hopefully you guys get a better photographer than what we got. Okay, so going back to food. So you have Olaf's, that was an upgrade. Then you have the 11th floor, like near the pool food. Okay, you have Sprinkles, right? Sprinkles is like the free yogurt or free soft serve.
Oh.
Free soft serve. What flavors did they have?
For the first day they had chocolate and vanilla mix. They had chocolate separate, vanilla separate, and there was a mix option. And then near like the second day and third day, they had strawberry and banana. My dad did not like the banana, just to let you guys know. But Mom loved the banana, and I didn't really like the banana either, and neither did Conrad. So we just stuck with strawberry.
Yeah. Let's talk about the food area. I can't remember what the food area is called, but there's like a food carnival area. What kind of food do they have?
They had Disney Chipotle.
We call it Disney Chipotle. I'm pretty sure it's called like something else. I'll show you guys in the video, but there's Disney Chipotle, which was really good. I had it. It was good. What'd you have? A bowl?
Yeah, I had a bowl.
They have burritos. They have tacos. There's this green rice that they don't have at Chipotle, and it's really, really good. I think it's called poblano rice, if I'm not mistaken, but I only had it one time in the trip. I should have had it more. Then they have this barbecue area. The barbecue, I mean, I'm from Kansas City, so I'm pretty picky when it comes to barbecue, and barbecue is okay. They had cornbread, which they also serve in the buffet area, which is Marceline's Market, and they also have, brisket and mac and cheese there, so that was good. And then what was your dad's favorite in that area? Pizza.
Oh yeah, there was like these mini pizzas, and then you could get like a whole thing of pizza. One girl in the elevator, she had like 2 things at elevators on New Year's.
Yeah, so you could just order big pizzas. You'll probably wait like 10-15 minutes if you're asking for 2 pizzas, but the pizza was good. And then they also had snow cones, but those aren't free. Like I thought that they were free, but they're not free. So snow cones are in a bar area, and you get that. I think it's right above like the 11th. It's on the 12th floor near a bar. So if you want snow cones, if you heard about snow cones, they're there. There's also different coffee stations. I think if I counted correctly, there's like 4 different coffee stations. There's like the Wish area, which I think is on the 3rd or 4th floor. There's a coffee area in like the adult area, and there's another coffee area just around the ship. You'll just have to go find it, but I ended up only getting coffee once, and I love coffee, and I only got it once just because I didn't want to pay the extra $7 per day, even though I do that like on a normal day on coffee. I just didn't want to go out of my way to wait for coffee to be made, but they did really, like, if you did get coffee, they stamp a really cute like espresso like mark on it, and I'll show you guys what that looks like as well. So let's talk about Marceline's Market. On the first day of Marceline's Market, they always have on any cruise ship, I just remember it's the best food on buffet day. Okay, so on the Disney cruise ship, the best food, if you like this, is they have crab legs. Go all the way down to the end of the section. You'll see the crab legs. You'll see the shrimp. You'll see all the seafood, that expensive food that you'd want. Okay? Again, when you go into Marceline's Market, go all the way down to the end. They will have crab legs and shrimp. We completely missed it on our first pass, but they have it.
If you're not a seafood fan like her, then there's and you're like 10 or 11 and under, there is a kids section, and it's like they're tall tables, and then it just goes really short. And there's like chicken tenders, french fries, mac and cheese, hamburgers, corn dogs, anything that like finger foods that a kid would want.
Yeah, so if you guys go ahead and check out some of my YouTube shorts, there is one on Marceline's Market where I just walk through all the food that you'll be able to see on a normal day. There's breakfast foods. If breakfast is really great at Marceline's Market, it's also great for lunch as well. And then real quick, Ainsley wants to talk about donuts for some reason.
Okay, so have you ever been on Royal Caribbean? They have like a ton load of donuts. Like they have like a whole section full of donuts. But when you go on Disney, and you expect for like donuts, they won't have as much donuts unless you go to the dessert section. Which I think they have like different donuts every day. But the only donut that we ever got was like some cookies and cream kind of donut, which was
okay.
Yeah.
For me as a parent, I secretly like the fact that they don't have a lot of donut options because that's way too many sweets, and I'd rather have my kids eat a little bit healthier on a cruise, even though you can't really eat healthy if you're stuffing your face on a cruise. So there's that. Disney is known for rotating their diners to different locations with their waiters, all right? So just FYI, that's pretty much how dining goes on Disney. So I would say I was impressed by the buffet. The service, however, I think they're still getting their sea legs on that. We didn't get our water refilled as much, I don't think.
Yeah, we got our food like a little later. Like the table sitting next to us, like they got their food, and like they were here after us, and then we were just sitting there with our bread,
and that happened. Empty. That happened quite a bit. So I was less than impressed. I just remember like with our first cruise, like, I think the reason why we fell in love was because of the service and how quickly things came out, and maybe we just had a different experience, or like there was an off week or something on that ship. But the service, I think they're still learning the ship, learning the crew. I don't know. I will just say that the service was okay when it came to the dining service. Our stateroom attendant, however, was awesome. Let's talk about the stateroom. Our stateroom attendant was amazing. Our room was amazing. I will say that when I booked the room, it was 6066 and 6068. They were connecting rooms. Okay, so I'll do a whole like review on our room on its own. But we got connecting rooms. We had a room for my husband and our son, as well as another room for myself and my 3 daughters. Due to Disney guidelines, you have to have an adult in a room, so that's why we had to split up our party the way we did. Our connecting rooms had also connecting balconies, so our stateroom attendant was able to kind of open up, so we had a larger balcony, which was really, really great. But we didn't actually enjoy the balcony as much as we wanted to, only because the itinerary was so short, guys. It was so short. It was like first night, cruising. Then we landed in Nassau, Bahamas. I'm probably saying that wrong. And then we went to Castaway Cay, and then we were back to Port Canaveral. So I will say it was a very, very short trip, but there was so much to do on the trip. But going back to the rooms itself, I had thought that going to the 6th floor, we would see like the boats, the yellow boats that were there, but that was not obstructing our view at all. I thought that having the lower floor of the mall, like I would be not have a great view, but I had a great view. Like it was actually an awesome room because right below that was like the kids club and Edge and all of that, and then we were able to quickly like get off the ship. Like that room was pretty spectacular, and the elevators were on either side of us, which was really, really great. So let's talk about the beds. The bed situation was really, really great. Both of our rooms actually had setups for like a total of 4 people. However you wanted to do it, like, because there was a Murphy bed in one, and they were all designed a little bit differently. Like one had like the Murphy bed and like a couch, and then the other one had like the bunk beds where you could pull from the ceiling, and so it was really, really different. And I like the fact that the Disney Wish kind of thought of all the different variations and added all this room in for families, like big families like us. The doors that were held open on either side were held open with a magnet, which is I think found on any cruise ship, but that was just a nice touch. The beds weren't comfortable, I didn't think, as much as the Dream. Now, the reason why I say that in terms of comfort is I just remember having the best night of sleep on the Disney Dream because of the beds. And so I went out of my way to get that exact bed for my house, right? And so it's a Dream bed. When I went onto the Disney Wish, the beds weren't as comfortable, and I literally did take a tag. I took a picture of the tag of the bed that was being used, and it wasn't like the bed that was being used on the Disney Dream. So I'll kind of show you guys a screenshot of what the bed actually is on the Disney Wish. I know I'm psychotic, but I just remember having the best night of sleep on the Disney Dream, and it was not the case for the Disney Wish. But overall, my stateroom attendant was amazing. I mean, any amenity that you don't normally expect for the room, that's what we had. But the other thing I will say is that if you are trying to use a flat iron, like for your hair, like straighten your hair, or a curling iron, for some reason, my flat iron did not work in the room. Like I was trying to pump it up to like 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and my flat iron just did not work. So if you have curly hair or you're expecting to straighten your hair, you're kind of SOL in terms of like being able to get your hair all done, unless you book Bippity Boppity for your kids, or you book Untangled, and that is a salon on the ship. So let's talk about Bippity Boppity. What did you think about Bippity Boppity?
It was awesome. There was many different choices of how you could do it. You could like dress, jewelry, like other stuff too. Like, but we did. So we didn't get a dress. We got hair, makeup, bag, shirt,
and nails, and that was $99 a person. Okay, and then they had packages from $250 to $500, and so I purchased like princess dresses before the cruise, and we just took it with us. So I knew that they had $500 packages on the ship. So I didn't want to pay that, but they got a ton of glitter in their hair, to the dismay of my husband. They got their hairs all done up. I will say that if you're wanting like curls, like people like using a curling iron on your hair, that's more at the Untangled salon. I think they do like 13 and up, but I'm pretty sure I've seen like 10-year-olds in the Untangled salon. So this one is more like they slick back your hair, they put glitter, they put like a bow or extra hair, like pieces, like my daughter got pink hair, and they do all that. It's a whole like beauty experience, but it's not necessarily like getting your hair done.
I wanted to do Untangled, but they said it was only for adults, and we were expecting Untangled. Like we were like, oh yeah, that's the alternative for
Bippity Boppity.
Yeah, but no, it was for adults, and I really wanted to do that one because I saw people getting their hair curled and French braids, and I was like, oh, I would prefer braids more than buns.
What were you laughing at when we passed by the barber shop?
Oh, so there was this guy. Okay, this massager literally picked the worst spot for a relaxing time. I feel like everyone that walked past him, started laughing. So there was a door, and his head was in like the door, and he had like a towel. The guy was literally massaging, and he was like, ah. and then we all started laughing when we went past him, and it was so funny.
Yeah, so I don't know if I would recommend the barber, and I don't think he was getting a massage. I think it was just his head.
Yeah, but I think he was getting a massage.
No, like on his face. He was getting a massage on his face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about the room, the food, the venues, and last but not least, we'll talk about Castaway Cay. and New Year's on the Disney cruise ship because that was special for us. So on Castaway Cay, we did the 5K walk, and you get a medal. It's a really cool medal. I'll show you guys what that looks like. It's not really metal, it's like plastic. And so it's just a 5K walk all the way around. And I'll kind of walk through real quick like what the walk entails. But there were people running, there were people walking like us. But we did it. We got the medals. Well, 3 of 6 of us got it.
You're going to start here, turn to my right here, so you're going to go all the way down. Once you get to the end, you're going to make another right. Turn over to the airplane runway.
Okay.
Once you're at the airplane runway, you're going to run down till you get to this path here. Make a right.
Perfect.
Go around the loop, come back, go down the rest of the airplane runway, make a U-turn, down the airplane runway, around the loop one more time, and come on back to us.
Awesome.
All
And
right?
that gets the medal. Okay. This is what the medal looks like. It's super cute. It's plastic. It's a heavy-duty plastic. Castaway Cay has areas called cookies. They have different foods. I'll kind of show you the options, but it was like hot dogs, hamburgers, like macaroni salad.
Ooh, yeah, the macaroni salad I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, and the chicken, the barbecue chicken is good. I would recommend getting barbecue chicken over the barbecue ribs because the ribs you could get on the ship. It's exactly the same, I feel like, but the chicken you can't get anywhere else, I don't think. And so their chicken was phenomenal. They had ice cream there. They had pina coladas, like not in there, but like at the different bars. Yeah, I just remember Castaway Cay just being kind of honestly like boring, if you will. I know it sounds really bougie, but like it just
It's a beach.
It's a beach. It's a beach. It's nothing like Perfect Day at Castaway Cay, which is an island that had a bunch of like slides and stuff, but don't expect anything like that. It's a very low-key day. If you're taking the tram to Castaway Cay and you have kids with you who want to go down the water slide that's in the ocean, stop at the second stop. And I would recommend actually walking rather than taking the tram if you can, because it's literally like a 5 to 10 minute walk. If you can handle it, most people can't, and so they would take the tram, but I would recommend walking if you can, and then stopping when you see Pelican Plunge. And I will say that they will have life jackets for you and for your family.
So if you have like snorkeling goggles, don't expect them to use them on the slide because snorkeling goggles is what I prefer because like my nose it hurts when I go underwater. But you're not allowed to have those on the slide, and especially since it's saltwater, I feel like that should be allowed on the slide. But no, so my mom, she's being super nice and she got me just eye goggles.
They were $18 at the shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she got me eye goggles and yeah, they were really helpful because I'm not gonna open my eyes in salt water.
Yeah, so make sure you bring goggles. They have life jackets there. You can go down with the life jackets. I can't swim. I'm taking all these beach vacations, but I can't swim. But I will say that they have life jackets that you can take down if you want to. I did the slide once and I was pretty much done. But there's different views that you can partake in there. There's also an area that we didn't venture to where it's 18 and over. It's called Trinity Bay, I believe. And you could go there. I saw a lot of people going there to get away from kids, but honestly, I didn't have to fight for seats necessarily. I mean, I had to go and make sure that I got a seat that was near like where I could see the kids, but overall, it wasn't bad. We were like the only ship on the island, so it was fun. I mean, nothing spectacular to say. My kids went to Scuttle Cove, which is like the kids area, so you can like check them in and out. My daughter really liked that. They did scavenger hunts in there as well. She's 5, but older kids would not have liked that, but my little one definitely did. That gave us a chance to kind of walk around the island a little bit as well. There are also characters. So one of the things that I would recommend at Castaway Cay is that Castaway Cay is that when you get off the ship, there will be photographers. Stop and get those photos. Don't like go rushing for your chairs. Stop and take the photos because the photographers are not normally there. I mean, they'll say they'll be there here and there on the island, but your one chance to get a professional photo or at least a photo taken of your entire family without asking for someone to take your photo is when you get off that ship. In that very first like hour, there will be a photographer, one of those PhotoPass photographers that will take your photo.
That's why you should walk, because Mom actually, we actually made the mistake to take the tram, and we saw like Daisy or Mickey wearing some
cute
beach
outfit.
Yeah, and the girl that we were sitting next to was like, oh yeah, she'll come to the beach, but she never came to the beach. So
Yeah. So walking will also allow you to get photos with the characters that are there. If you take the tram, then you miss that opportunity. So just FYI. But we did see Minnie or Daisy, one of the two, a few hours later in that area, but like that was hit or miss, and it was a really, really long wait to get that photo. Let's talk about Pirate Night. So Pirate Night was really fun, and I will tell you, we went on a New Year's Eve cruise. Okay, and so New Year's Day we spent at Castaway Cay. Now, Pirate Night fell on the same day as our New Year's Eve party, and what was amazing is with any Disney cruise, you get a fireworks show. I didn't see that on the Royal, so like if you want fireworks, like it's amazing. I would recommend, if you want to stay in your room for the fireworks, they do recommend you staying inside, but if you want to see the fireworks from your room, you need to stay on the starboard side, okay? Say it with me. Starboard side if you want to see fireworks. I would highly, highly recommend that if you want to see the fireworks, when you're facing the theater, I can't remember if that's starboard or port side, but if you're facing the big screen, you want to be on the right side of the ship. That's what I remember, and that's where the fireworks will show. If you stand on the other side, you might not be able to see it, but if you're on the railing, you'll be able to see all the fireworks there. We had 2 fireworks show. The first one at 10 p.m. For Pirate Night, and the second one at midnight when we celebrated New Year's. And they
Happy New Year to you and your families. We hope to see you around the trip. But stay here, the party is live.
They also had an 8 o'clock celebration on the 3rd floor with Mickey, Minnie, and we completely missed that, for the littles who go to bed early. So that was really, really cool for them to do that. But there was so much to do. Like, we missed out on that piece of it, but we got to celebrate on midnight of actually like New Year's, and then again for Pirate Night. So there were like 3 different celebrations on that same day, which, I mean, if you went to all of them, that would be absolutely amazing. But there was so much to do. And what did you think about New Year's?
I thought it was really cool. All the fireworks.
Live band.
Yeah. Wait, so for Pirate Night, there was also a live band, and there was a girl wearing a pirate costume, and there was also another guy. Oh, Jack Sparrow came out, so if you want to see him, you should go on Pirate Night.
Okay. So that New Year's Eve on the ship was absolutely amazing. Our 2 littles fell asleep, but my girls and I got to kind of celebrate as well. And let me just tell you, that deck gets really, really packed. So make sure you show up early if you can. And then lastly, I want to talk about the characters. There are so many times that you can meet characters. What I would say is that make sure you show up 15 minutes before the characters show up so that you're kind of the first in line. The other thing is that Chewbacca shows up, and Chewbacca only shows up once. So if you want a picture with Chewbacca, he only shows up once. And then in the Oceaneers Club, I would say that like all of the different events in Oceaneers Club are themed, and you can kind of guess what character is going to show up at Oceaneers Club at that time. And so my little one was able to see Minnie Mouse at the Oceaneers Club, which is really, really cool. And so just something to be aware of, and make sure that you bring autograph books or an autograph pillowcase with like fabric markers so that the characters can sign if you like that type of thing. So here is the character book that we have signed, and I'm going to print out all of the photos of all of the characters so that you guys can see it and we have it for memories. Also, I just want to throw this in there. We got this in 2019 on the Disney Dream. You can bring a pillowcase and get them signed as well. Just make sure you bring fabric markers and get character signatures on a pillow.
So they would post like everything that happened at the Edge or the Vibe or the Hideaway on your schedule. So if you want to like for like a specific event, then you could just check your schedule.
Yeah, so Ainsley's first karaoke was on the ship, which she did an awesome job at. There's just so much to do. So there you have it. All in all, I would say, would I do the Disney Wish if I had to do it all over again? Answer, really, no, for the amount that I paid and for how little we got to do of all the things I was able to do. Was the soda like worth it, the food worth it in comparison to Royal? Probably not. I would say, again, like I got an Alaskan vacation with all the things and more for the price of half the price of what it was for the Disney Wish.
But they did not have Chipotle.
But they did not. No, they did have Chipotle on another Royal Caribbean cruise. Yeah, Symphony of the Seas had that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then I like some fancy.
So I will say that I don't know. I think this is our last Disney cruise. I say that, but maybe they come out with a really fancy cruise ship. And I know that Disney is coming out with a new island to stop at. So I might regret saying that. But overall, I would say that would I do a Disney cruise again? Maybe not until they create a really bigger ship and more things to do on the island. Overall, I would highly recommend this for parents who need Oceaneers Club, where it's open most of the day and just wanted some date night. If I had to do Disney cruise all over again, would I do it? The Disney Wish? Probably not. I would not change my experience for the Disney Dream at all, right? So that was like in 2019. But Disney Wish didn't live up to what I had thought it would be, but it was great to have that during our Disney trip, because we did a Disney park cruise, then park as part of our schedule.
We were just expecting more.
Yeah, maybe we have high expectations. Maybe you're getting too bougie on me, Ainsley.
Really?
So what I would say is, in terms of timeline, so if you guys are preparing for this trip, I would say that first off, make sure you plan the Disney cruise at least 90 days in advance, right? So that you get the best rooms. Know that the Princess Gathering, which is another event that you have to sign up for, opens up at 30 days prior to the cruise. And then for first time folks doing Disney, you have a 75-day prior to being able to book Olaf or Bippity Boppity. And then silver, people who have done 2 or more cruises can sign up 90 days prior to that window as well. And then after that, I would say your check-in time, make sure that you're up at midnight checking in so that you're one of the first on the ship, because then that way you could have more time on the ship. And then one thing that we didn't realize that we would be able to do on Disney Cruise Line, being a silver Castaway member, is that we could have checked in a little bit earlier. We had our own check-in line. I didn't know that. So now I know. But overall, it was a great experience. I wouldn't say it was an excellent experience. It's a great experience, especially over New Year's. The other thing I would say over New Year's, for those that are looking to book a holiday trip, is that they changed the menu. So we had Marvel Night, and so Marvel Night is what I heard had the worst food. I know I'll probably get a lot of feedback on that, but even our waiter told us that. But they upgraded the menu for the New Year's Eve menu, so that was great. So overall, we had a great time. Was it excellent? I would say it's a little bit sub-excellent, but I wouldn't change a thing because I made a lot of memories with our family and we had a blast, even though it was super, super expensive. So if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment below. We'll go ahead and create more videos based on your comments on what you wanted to see on the Disney Wish, because I took a ton of footage and we're happy to explain anything. Ainsley, any last words?
So like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you get subscribed whenever we post a new video.
And we will definitely post new videos on family-friendly vacations and give you our honest reviews of all the things that we experience.